It's a very interesting time for economists at the moment, and one of the things that's fascinating is the whole remote work and work from home sort of surge, as well, forced on us by lockdown. It's a good experiment to have had. It's shown that we can work from home in many ways very effectively. It has its drawbacks, and we won't entirely do away with the office. But one of the new topics that's cropped up in the potential implications discussion around remote work is the potential for lower salaries as a result of employees saving significantly in many instances on commuting costs that are financial costs as well as time costs, and that employees might be even prepared to take some sort of lower salary in future on average for the benefit of working from home. And certainly that's not inconceivable. But I think that what one must bear in mind is that companies too have potential cost savings through reduction in office space, reduction in all the infrastructure surrounding, the technological infrastructure surrounding office space, so that the ultimate answer is probably that average salaries settle somewhere in the middle, that there might be some sort of reduction, all other things equal, obviously, as a result of these efficiency costs that both parties receive. The companies through lower office space requirements and infrastructure requirements, but the employees in terms of lower time and financial costs of commuting. However, at the end of the day, one mustn't get too carried away. It's about supply and demand of labor and the scarcity of labor relative to demand that ultimately drives salary bills. We've seen that over many times. Various professions have various average salaries, and they differ quite vastly depending on the scarcity, the relative scarcity of those skills. And that will still be the case. What remote working can conceivably do is to take more skills, attract more skills from lower paid regions to higher paid regions. The higher paid regions in a place like South Africa are often the major cities, especially Johannesburg. People incur higher costs of living in these regions, transport costs being one of them, but also residential property costs, values amongst others. And so over time you have seen higher average salaries in these big centers, and out in the smaller cities and rural centers, the same profession may have a lower average salary, and they may be happy to take that lower salary for the benefit of living and working in that country town or smaller city because of their perceived lifestyle benefits. What might now happen if you can still stay in the remote area, the lower paid area, but be employed in the higher paid area? What that means is that the higher paid center has access to lower cost skills and a bigger skills supply, and its average salary might well decline over time as a result of that increased supply of labor working remotely. But that the smaller centers may see average salary bills increasing because of their employees' access to those bigger and higher paid markets, and companies in the smaller centers may then have to battle and even increase their salaries to start matching the employers from the bigger centers. So I suspect that's what's probably overall what we're probably going to see is, all other things equal, you'd probably have a mild decline in the salary bill because of the efficiency improvements and the cost improvements for employees, i.e. not having to commute as much, not having to incur financial transport costs and time costs of commuting. And that's fantastic. But also between centers, the lower paid centers, you actually might have an increase in the salary costs because of competition from higher paid centers for their resources, and a decline in salary costs in the higher paid centers because of that improved labor supply that remote working brings. That's basically at a very broad level how I see that panning out. But interesting times. The remote working boom or surge has many implications, and this is just potentially one of them. We probably haven't discovered many more that are about to hit us in the coming years.